Got the recording started. Hello, everyone, and we're glad that you could make it to another Tech to Elevate webinar. We're really excited to have a great presentation for you today on communications and really just being confident about your skills in the digital world, something that not all of us have grown up with, something that can be a little difficult from time to time. I'll be your host, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop that in the chat, the Q&A. I'll be sure to relay those to our presenter. Our presenter today is the amazing Shanita Young, who knows a lot about what she's talking about. She's going to give you guys a lot of great tips. Hopefully, you can learn a lot from Shanita today.
Thank you, Benj. And yes, as Ben said, we are definitely going to dive in more so summarize, how to communicate in this digital world. And as he said, my name is Shanita Young. I'm originally from the Pittsburgh area. Very passionate about helping others. I'm also, along with Benj, an ACC AmeriCorps member, and we serve at Tech to Elevate as digital coaches. And if you aren't aware about Tech to Elevate, we do provide digital skills training and resources um, to more so encourage you and nurture your skills if you needed to learn anything in regards to using technology in your daily life. So just to get started, again, we will be definitely navigating the digital world and going through different things to consider when that would be essential in your communication with using the digital world, so to speak. So just to start, digital communication, like what is it? And in the term, it would be an electronic exchange of information, data, or messages. In layman's terms, it would just be, how you communicate, whether you're using it by email, you're sending email messages, text messages, um, you're on social media. And I just pointed out these three because that's typically, the main ways that we communicate digitally. There's other ways, whether it be blogs, live chats, um, video chat. Hey, a webinar. um, you know, uh, you have those ways in which we communicate digitally, and it's more so of convenience, and some may consider it as minimum effort to actually, be able to communicate with people. Some people may not see it as a minimum effort. But, it's just those things that, the tools that we use right now as a means to communicate with those that we love, friends, and also professionally. So, right. And why is it important? Still reiterating that, it's that means to communicate with our loved ones and friends. And again, professionally, I use these examples because, you think about how we started off, being able to communicate. Of course, it's snail mail, as they say. And you think of the telephone as well, and how far we've come with even the use of the telephone. Those operators that you had to communicate with just to get to another end of the line. And then, of course, the rotary phone, which probably a lot of people are not familiar of, those that are younger, even the use of the rotary phone. So to think of how far we came with the use of communication, and now these are some of the tools that we use as far as the cell phone and a computer. You're able to, have a live FaceTime with someone over your phone. You're you're mobile, you're in a whole nother state, but you're able to actually see the person and communicate live with them. Like, that's huge. And even, like Zoom meetings you think of with different, as far as on a professional level and personal level, you can communicate with multiple people and actually see them all at once. Like, wow, that's crazy. So, and of course, with digital communication and with anything, I feel like you're always going to have the etiquette, but in the digital world, it's netiquette. And I don't feel like it's a huge difference, because when you think of etiquette, it's that polite behavior, as far as in the way you socialize with a person or group. So, I mean, in the same sense, it's the same thing as netiquette. Netiquette is just more so the behavior you would follow when you're communicating online. And of course, it's the do's and the don'ts of both. But we'll be getting into, of course, the netiquette part, because we're digitally communicating. So, and some rules to consider, as far as your netiquette, um, can be, of course, using respectful language. Even though you may even be typing out something, it's still a way in which you communicate that can be received as not so respectful. And people can be bullied by words, whether it be verbally or written. So, you just want to think of those different considerations as far as your etiquette, when you are communicating with people. So, some of the rules is, remember that to be human. You're human, and those that you communicate with also are human. So, you definitely don't want to offend anyone or make them feel as if they are dehumanized. You definitely want to be careful of your interactions, because, of course, online, with any interactions, they can be recorded, saved. It can be backed up, so you definitely want to approach the situation appropriately. Also, with being human, uh, you you want to be careful not to get too carried away when you are digitally communicating with people, because you still have those in-person interactions with people. So sometimes, and I know I've been guilty myself, where we get away and we're in our phones and we might be answering emails, we're multitasking. But sometimes you do have to take a moment and consider that if you're in person with somebody and you're communicating, be respectful to them and let them know that, hey, you're in the room with them communicating. So sometimes you may have to just put that phone away, computer, whatever. Be respectful to people when you're in person, and limit yourself as far as the devices go. And also, with the use of respectful language, you definitely want to be careful with the language that you use. Maybe avoid using, you know, um, anything that would be considered like negative language or inappropriate language for online, because you're speaking publicly, to people. And some of the people that may even come across your post or anything like that may not even know you. So this is your introduction to them. So you just definitely want to be mindful of the language that you speak of, and ethical. You definitely being ethical. I feel like um, that term can go towards a lot of things. It could go towards language, but then when you think about it in the digital world, it can be also, you know, um, how you receive information, whether you are watching a movie, streaming a movie, or you may be downloading music. Be mindful of that, to make sure that you do it legally, of course, because um, it can be copyright infringement, and that would be breaking the law. So, and these people, people work hard for their craft, and you want to be supportive to their talent. So, it's ethical to go about it the right way, so that they earn their part. They earn money from you enjoying their craft. So you want to be mindful of that. Also, um, know where you are. When you are online and you may be using different platforms to communicate, you want to be mindful, as well as maybe they have different stipulations. Know your audience, I would say. Know your audience, because some people speak differently on different platforms, and I think it's a term that is used, that lurk before you leap is a term. So you might want to be lurking a little bit around to see how the flow of the chat, or how the flow of the network, or the outlet that you're using. Feel the environment before you step out there and add your 2 cents, so to speak. Also, another rule would be to consider is respect people's time and their data limits. And with that is, you definitely, if you are sharing any information, say you make a post, and not everything is for everybody. And a lot of the social media platforms, you can, like, say, for instance, with Facebook, you can kind of um, set the settings. Like, if you're posting something, maybe you just want to post it to your friends and not make it fully public to everybody, because again, everything is not for everybody. Um, and that limits other people's timeline being flooded with something that's not pertaining to them, or something that they may not need to know of, on your end. And also, even if you're sharing a message, you want to be considerate as far as the person that's receiving it, because maybe they don't have the data limits to even accept that. So you may have to compress a file, or use something of that. You just want to you want to be considerate of other people's information. Also, responding to emails and text messages promptly. I think that's a big thing sometimes for some people. Of course, if you can't answer a text message or email right away, you just can't answer it. But be considerate, and of course, try to respond as soon as you possibly can, um, in a timely manner. Also, with the use of social media and those that you may want to share things with, um, is to choose your friends wisely. You could choose those friends that you want to add on. And I would say, just knowing your settings, like that, going back to knowing your outlook, and I mean your outlet, I should say. know the settings, know what you're capable to do as far as like your privacy settings and things like that. So that's something to consider as well. Um, Another rule is, of course, who doesn't want to make yourself look good? You want to make yourself look good because you're presenting yourself online again to people that you know and possibly people that you don't know. So you definitely want to present your self um, well, whether it be professionally or personally. So you should be mindful as far as what you're sharing. Share at your discretion. Of course, you don't want to share anything that may be like you may consider to be embarrassing or inappropriate. But I think it's useful to be knowledgeable of your audience and who you share, because whether it be a good experience or a bad experience, even with a bad experience, people can learn from what you have dealt with. So that could be helpful to somebody. It's just in a way in which you present the information to people. So, just being mindful of that. Also, making sure that you update any information online. Again, that goes back to even being personal site or page that you have, or if it's business. Of course, you want people to have business wise, you want people to have the correct and updated information, so that they can utilize any services that you are offering to them. And also on a professional level, since we are speaking of businesses, you want to be mindful of that professional networking. So, the ability to be able to possibly expand your knowledge and interact with other professionals um, in your career field. So you definitely want to present yourself well. So, right. And we're almost up with the rules. We'll just go over a few other things and then we'll move on to the next topic. Um, I would have to say the next thing to consider is when you are sharing information. Again, that goes back to sharing information, whether it's good or bad, that can be helpful to someone. Also, if you are not just sharing information that is based on your personal experiences, and you're sharing someone else's information, or of course you want to have that permission to do so, but you also want to be mindful that you are fact checking. It's okay to fact check before you repost, or you're posting some information that is not based on your personal experience. So you definitely want to keep that. And if you are, say you are an administrator or facilitator on a website or a group page, chat, what have you, um, don't abuse your power. You know, make sure that you're not abusing those privileges that have been invoked to you. So, right. So, with all that being said, as far as considering the rules of the digital communication rule, I should say, it all goes back to everything that you're sharing or everything that you put out there. There's going to be that footprint. So you want to be mindful of the things that you pretty much have the liberty to choose, and you have more so, I would say, like, control over it, because social media posts, photos, videos, online comments, phone calls, text messages, emails. Those are things that you have choices in. Some things that may be shared without you actually trying to share it, or without you knowing, or more personal, professional things, like, okay, your social security number when you're filling out things online and stuff like that, your medical records, your IP addresses, your browsing history, things of that sort. So you definitely want to just be mindful of that digital footprint, because it is very easy when you put things out there for it to stay out there. Once it's out there, definitely on the internet. So be mindful of that. Also, I thought this was helpful, from KathleenMorris.com, as far as 10 things to know about your digital footprints. Of course, when you search and you interact online, that's your browsing history. It's, that's left behind. Also, you know, things that can be helpful or harmful. Just like we said, you want to present yourself well. So it's both beneficial for your reputation in the now as well as in the future. So you definitely, just it's pretty much everything that we just discussed, before. You definitely want to consider, if you have old or inactive accounts, you want to disable those or delete them. um Google yourself. That's something that I just never done, but I know that that's definitely one that people always recommend. But there's just things that you can consider when it comes to that digital footprint, right? And then I would say overall, when it comes to netiquette, you are more so protecting yourself professionally and personally. So, taking those extra steps in how you communicate with others and being mindful is, again, it'll be beneficial to you in the long run. So, that more so is going to sum up our presentation today, which, of course, as always, I love to use quotes. And my quote for today would be, the two words information and communication are often used interchangeably, but they significantly are quite different things. Information is giving out, communication is getting through. And that is from Sidney J. Harris, who was an American journalist. And when you think about it, yes, information is what you are giving out, because, yeah, it's there. But communication is, you're trying to really get through to somebody. You're communicating with somebody for a reason, and you're trying to make a point. So, I mean, that I just thought that that was a cool quote, and it's something to think about as you are communicating in this digital world. So, right. And again, that is the end of our presentation for navigating the digital world and the essentials of communicating, with confidence. So, if you would like to dive even deeper as far as any details that we might have went over today, you can certainly reach out to us. Again, we do offer free digital coach services, both one-on-one, and we are looking to offer more different workshops as well. And you can always contact us by phone, email, or even visiting our website where you can set up an appointment. And you can set up an appointment with a digital coach such as myself or Benj.
Great. Thank you, Shanita. We're glad that you all could make it for this webinar, and hopefully you can attend the rest of our webinars that we'll be doing at this time every Thursday. We also have all of these recorded and put on our YouTube channel. If you want to find that or any other information, like Shanita said, you can check out our website, tech2elevate.org with the number 2. And if you want to register for anything, tech2elevate.org/register. We have coaches up in Erie County like myself, and we have coaches down in Beaver County such as Shanita. We also offer virtual appointments if you're not able to make it to one of our locations, and we'd love to just be in contact with you. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out, and we'd love to talk to you. Thank you.